Let's spend time, not money, and mix your milk with my Cocoa Puff. Milky, milky cocoa, mix your milk with my Cocoa Puff. Milky, milky right. And that was said by the famous SD2 player Will.I.Am. Good morning, I am running out of zombie-related video clips, and welcome to this very interesting game, which for once doesn't include me. And we've got LOTRY playing as the 8th US Infantry Mechanized, the second strongest division in ranked according to me. You're welcome to your own opinions. And he's up against P.Uri.Tanner playing as 119Y, the weakest division in 1v1 ranked according to me. And I just had to cast this game because 119 is trash and 8th is zombie meta personified. So why? What's going on? So right now, infantry take a very long time to die. First link in the description, just watch the first 20 minutes, that explains the current meta pretty well, with the tier list and everything. And 119Y is based around heavy tanks and doesn't get a lot of infantry. So they really suffer in this meta because heavy tanks are not very good now, and they need lots of infantry, and they don't get lots of infantry. So playing 119Y is pure suffering, and if you don't believe me, take him for a spin on ranked, see what happens. But both of these players are very good. I think LOTRY is ranked about 40th, 30th maybe, and Tanner's about the same. Tanner obviously very popular in the Steel Division 2 community. So let's cast the game. We'll start with the deployments, and we're on Vertigo. Vertigo's changed a little bit recently. You see, say recently, it's been a few months now, but you see that this zone got a little bit more, some more trees in it, an extra building here. There was an extra road added here, which really doesn't fit. So I'm not. It kind of looks like it's just been tacked on at the, haphazardly, and that is correct because it has. So that's been added to help this side. Blue is the weaker side, or at least it was. Not seen any win statistics recently. So let's do the deployments. We got LOTRY bringing an LRS to here. That's quite conservative. And then behind that, we've got really quite a conservative deployment on this side. So 3 M150 tows going to here, here, and here. And a Jägerführer here, a Jägeraufklärer recon unit here, Jägeraufklärer recon unit there. Behind that, a CV, an ITO, a Stinger, and a supply. So the ITO is presumably going to there. The supply is going to there as well. The Stinger's going to there, and the CV is going to there. So yeah, I mean, let's cover the rest of the deployment and then I'll give my thoughts. So then we've got another CV. It's just going to cap Foxtrot Delta. And then we've got 3 more ITOs going to this building, this building, this building, presumably. I can't tell. Those might be where the Stingers are going. Okay, so 1 ITO there. 1 ITO there. 1 ITO there. And then presumably the Stingers are going. 3 Stingers. 1 to there, which is dumb, you want it in that building. 1 to there, it's kind of dumb, you want it in that building. And 1 to there, it's dumb, you want it in that building. And then Jägeraufklärer, presumably going to here. Nope. It was going over here, and then the mech rifle's going to the right. And then 3 more M150 tow vehicles. So, yeah, 8th is an early game division, and 119Y, because it needs to buy all the heavy tanks, is a late game division. So I'm quite surprised by LOTRY's opener because he's opened extremely defensively. We've got all these tow vehicles which are good on the defensive, 4 of them, and then 4 ITOs which are good on the defensive, bit of recon. You know, he's opening very defensively against a division that has a terrible early game. Switching to Tanner's deployment, he does get some forward deployed units, so 2 Spetsnaz, origami paper maches, and these are just anti-tank teams. And they go into here, into here. 2 Iglas going to here, I believe. And then a CV going to Charlie Delta, and then back to Charlie. For the right, we've got 3 Spetsnaz going to here. You kind of want them in here, really, but maybe he's scared of airplay. And then an Igla behind them, an AA helicopter, a Tunguska, and a CV tank. So really defensive openings from both players. Basically 119Y is a late game division because you need to be able to afford your heavy tanks. It takes a long time to build them up. You need to get all the supporting assets there, the AA, the infantry. And 8th is a very good early game division because it gets lots of cheap, aggressive units. And so I'm very surprised by LOTRY's deployment. Tanner's deployment is pretty standard for 119Y. You see there's just not a lot of units compared to how many there are here. There's just not a lot of units because his stuff's really expensive. And he's playing it very defensively because he wants to drag the game out so he can buy super heavy tanks. So, I'll cast it from LOTRY's perspective because I'm French. And let's get on with the game. Right, so they're off, and everybody's going to where we said they were going to go. Remember, both of these players are ranked very highly, and it's very rare to see 119Y in ranked. It's not rare to see 8th. 8th is the second strongest div in the game right now, but both of these players are about equally matched, I'd say, in terms of skill level. So, yeah, people have said that I should just zoom in on units while we wait. So this thing's really, really good for 40 points. Gets a tow, a 50 cal, 2 armor, good optics and mediocre stealth and recon deployment, all for 40 points. Really good unit. And yeah, it's really good. Just the value you get out of it can be used to cover flanks, and the tows are really quite potent ATGM. I mean, it's got the range, it's not really got much pen, but the accuracy is decent, and the good optics means it spots for itself. The mediocre stealth means that it's kind of hard to see. I mean, it's not good stealth, but something. So this AA helicopter's been moved up a bit, and Tanner's moved up his Spetsnaz, just because LOTRY is opening so conservatively here. And Tanner's bought 2 MiG-29 AAs at the start, so that explains more why he was thin on the ground. And that's probably because he expected LOTRY to open with a bunch of Cobras and Blackhawks and play really aggressively in the air. So that's why he's bought these 2 planes, but LOTRY's not really done that. He's opened with a bunch of defensive units. And yeah, so LOTRY's CV hasn't actually capped Echo. I think it went this way instead of this way, so he's not actually capped Echo, so Tanner is +3. I'm not sure he's noticed. So the base M1 Abrams, pretty good for 170 points. The gun isn't max range, but the fire rate's decent, the pen's decent, the accuracy's decent. And yeah, I mean, that's another... So the only... Basically, 119Y, it gets TO-55s, which cost 70 points, and they're your T-55 spammy tank. Then it gets super heavy T-ATUs, which are like 315 points. And its only tank between those two are these CV tanks, these T-AT BVKs at 270. And that gives 8th a really good speed advantage, because you can pump out 100-point M60s, 30-point Kanj PZs, 170-point M1 Abrams, 250-point M1A1 Abrams, and you can get a decent combined armed force on the field much quicker. But LOTRY just content to just play quite defensively here, and now he's buying military police, which is interesting. Military police, the military police M67 is a really good unit. The military police regular isn't. I mean, it's 5 men for 15 points, so that can be quite efficient, but I'd much rather spend 40 points and get Engineer's Dragon. Or, what is it, like 45 for Mech Rifles Law? Might be 50. Tanner's Mi-24K gets scared away here by that Stinger. The AA helicopter's back here, and it's actually landed. These Spetsnaz will win this fight. I mean, they can't do anything to this because they don't have AT. There's no AT here for Tanner, apart from the tank, the CV tank, and I suppose the rockets on this, but it doesn't have ATGMs. This Cobra will swing the fight though, so Tanner's got to get out of there. And Yeah, supply costs on rockets quite high now. So that's 720 for 760, sorry, for full supply. Interestingly enough, you know, when these air units move over, it's just got hit by that igloo there. When the air units move over the CV, they gain a rank of veterancy, and your enemy can actually see the veterancy of your units if he spotted them. That BRDM2 is going to die to that Jaeger Aufklärer, and that Cobra didn't get out of there, so that igloo, 2 shots, 2 hits, killed it off. 4 HP, 4 HE versus 8 HP. And LOTRY's still not capped this back zone here, so he's not got Echo. Tanner choosing to buy some artillery. You don't see this one a lot because it only comes on this division and nobody plays this division anymore. This is a Mr. B 152mm Mr. Bean towed artillery piece. It's pretty juicy. I mean, you can see it clipping through that truck there. It really is a beautiful game. And yeah, so that's basically 1 minute's income, right? Because that's 120 plus 20 is 140, 120 plus 20, 140, so 280. So it's just over a minute's income on those howitzers, which is going to slow Tanner down further. But LOTRY is quite content to let Tanner build up here as he pumps out Abrams, and Tanner's not bought any heavy tanks. Yeah, he still needs to get everybody else. He still needs to get all the infantry. He still needs to get all the supporting assets. Ito here, this is a really good spot because it can shoot. It hits things coming down here. If you try and get people into this town, the guys pass through here and this Ito can hit them. So you saw that vehicle die there. And if these hang around, the same thing will happen. And military police against Spetsnaz, not great for the military police. I run military police M67 because the M67 recoilless rifle is pretty good, but regular military police not that great, in my opinion. So these Spetsnaz are being kept supplied by Tanner, maybe a bit too supplied, and Tanner's starting to use those howitzers, and he just takes a few pips off those guys. I don't think he's going to kill them. I think they're going to get out. Yeah. So if you're paying attention, artillery quite rubbish if you're paying attention in this patch. Don't see any counter battery out for LOTRY. And on this side, nothing's really happening. Both teams just have defensive units, so you know, Iglo's for defense. This BRDM2 is 40 points for very good optics. It's really quite good. And on the other side, we've just got, you know, 3 Itos for LOTRY and 3 M150s and 3 Stingers and a mech rifles. So LOTRY does actually have a force advantage, but what his army is made of is just not meant for pushing. These ATGMs are meant for defensive play. But here we go. He's trying to fight these Spetsnaz, and Tanner's come out to greet him, which is not intelligent because now all of this could shoot his guys. And you see Tanner trying to sneak over here, but LOTRY sees it all with the Jaeger Aufklärer, and he's got a Stinger here as well. Towed artillery, you know, you got to move them, otherwise they'll get counter batteried. And you see Tanner's kept the trucks with him, he's kept moving them, and he can actually see these guys. So they're just sat in this tree, but that building's been destroyed now, and the artillery will switch up to here. So I was quite surprised that Tanner pushed that. I mean, I guess if LOTRY's allowed to move into these buildings, then Tanner can't really resupply. Got some units sat back here as well. I'd like to stress that these are 2 of the best players in the game. They play a lot of tournaments, they're very famous players, and these helicopters have been sent way back. So some more cool artillery. You see it doesn't really do anything, it takes ages to aim, and this is like one of the heaviest artillery pieces in the game. Over here, these machine gun teams aren't bad, you know, and 119 basically needs to take them because they get 12 availability on these machine gun teams, and they only get 5 imp slots. And unlike Red Dragons, 5 imp slots. 5 imp slots in this is not a lot of imp, particularly in such an imp heavy meta. So Tanner can't really afford to waste his imp, and I guess that's why he's playing around this artillery. That's interesting. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11... And I believe there was one more before that died. So I'm pretty sure LOTRY's just bought his entire complement of military police, because you get 12 in a card. Oh yeah, there's the... Oh no, I think they're just unloading, aren't they? Not really a good unit choice in my opinion. I mean, if you got Engineer's Dragon, then if they were to burst through here, then they would actually be useful in the open. These guys are just... you know, you don't get a lot of HP, you don't get a lot of damage output. I mean, they're cheap, don't get me wrong, but, yeah. If you got, like, 18 availability, I'd get it. But he's got the tanks to back him up, and this M1's messing with that BMP one, but that'll survive and get pulled back by Tanner. He's doing a good job shepherding his units. And here we go, first heavy tank out for Tanner, the T80U. And the longer this game goes on, the stronger Tanner's going to get. And LOTRY has to attack, because he didn't buy the CV here at the start, he's been behind. He's 600 points behind, because that CV didn't go through here at the start. So yeah, Tanner's sort of forced to use his infantry here, right? But he just doesn't get a lot of infantry, so he's got to take care of it. And make sure that they don't die, and so far he seems to have been doing that. And LOTRY's got all these tanks, which you can't really use here, because if he drives them too close to Spetsnaz OP, he'll just chew them up. Tanner's trying to take this. He's brought over the helicopters, and that Stinger just died. So that's not great for LOTRY. The way buildings work in this game is a bit weird. Basically, you kill one unit in the building at once, only one of them will take damage, and for some reason, this, you know, just out of luck, 50% chance, the Stinger took the first set of damage. You can reset it by moving the Stinger out, letting the Jaeger get hit a little bit, and then putting the Stinger back in. But, yeah. Over on the right here, that Ito got messed up by this artillery again. Tanner's going to move him again. Yet to see any counter battery out for LOTRY. But he's advancing. Here goes the military police blob. Over here, Tanner is slowly pushing him out here. Obviously, everything takes so long to die now, but he's getting there. And yeah, LOTRY's advancing here. But he's got this problem that now he's going to be sort of advancing into a concave shape, right? He's advancing into the middle of this concave shape, so he might get shot from this side, and from this side, and from this side, which is going to be quite rough for him. But he definitely has a numerical superiority. I mean, look at how many... So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Abrams, 2 mech rifles, 11 military police unless one died. He lost that supply. Oh, he lost an Abrams here. I'm not sure what killed that. Must have been the T80U. So everybody's engaging, but yeah, this T80U will kill all these tanks unless the tanks all gang up on it. If it's one at a time, the T80U will quite happily deal with that with its 21 pen and its 20 front armor. So big blob out from LOTRY. Presumably this artillery, yep, it's targeting the blob. Would love to see a... He spot another artillery piece. He's brought out the TO-55s. And... yeah, okay, all the tanks have been brought to bear now. I'm pretty sure they've all right-clicked that T-80U. Oh no, they're just all on an attack move order. And the T-80U's just killing them one hit at a time. You see, like, every time it fires, it kills another one. Oh no, here come the helicopters. Yeah, neither team's AA is really in position. All of LOTRY's M1s are getting messed up. The T-80U's still alive, and it's got 50% stabilizer, so he's still shooting as he leaves. His military police aren't really going anywhere. Got machine guns shooting from this side. The Iglas. We've got a Jaeger here. The Igla's slowly taking out the toes, although it looks like the toes won that fight. This Toe Cobra's having a lot of bad luck against that T-80U. Here we go, Thunderbolt out. What is that passed on? It's passed on that Mi-24K. And it does get it, but it gets taken out by the MiGs. I mean, to be honest, this would have been a nicer target. If he'd hit that with 3 HP, I think he would have killed it. And Tanner just pouring in some infantry now. But yeah, this push is totally stalled out. Like, Honestly, I mean, if you're going to do that with 8th, a couple things. One, bring some dragons. Some Dragon 2s. And 2, get an M270 and drop it where you're going. That'll mess you up. Mess them up. So, that was pretty devastating. Everybody's just died, and he hasn't really gained any ground. I mean, he sort of took this. There's T-80 still in the fight as well. And it hits that Abrams. So this guy needs to smoke and get out of there, otherwise... Oh no, here comes all the BMP-1 ATGMs as well. They're all missing, and he smokes. Tanner doing a good job with the artillery. I mean, I still think artillery is very weak. He's probably the only guy that uses it in 1v1, you know, extensively. I mean, we all use it a little bit, but it's definitely the most artillery-heavy playstyle I've seen. And yeah, Tanner's reinforcements are getting cut up now by these Abrams that have managed to get to this side, but this T-80U is still in the fight, and that Abrams goes down to, I believe, the ATGM from that. This is now 3 vet because of how many things it's killed. And Tanner doing a great job by firing smoke at these Abrams to stop them from shooting his guys. LOTRY tries to bring the Cobras over, but this Tunguska's here. Although, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Right, so it couldn't see it because of the trees, but this can still see those TO-55s. This thing's still in the fight. I'd love to see the kill list on that at the end. It's just getting, I mean, it's getting a lot of shots off. And Tanner's just trying to saturate, trying to reinforce as best he can. LOTRY's gaining ground here, like he's made it all the way over here, but the cost is so high. And these Abrams can shoot that motor Strelky, but they can't shoot this T-80U because they need to get closer. This Stinger's out of position, needs to be up here. This Tow Cobra's doing a really good job. Like, it's killed so many TO-55s. What's his name? Alvarado. And this guy is called Omamatev. We'll have to remember that. So these tanks getting artillery, so he's trying to advance them. Oh no, and then that gets side shot by this. So he was going for this, and then he just lost the M1A1. He's still got the M1, but that's low cohesion because the artillery hit it. Over here, nothing's happening. This artillery is not being moved anymore, he can't be bothered. He's seen that, you know, LOTRY's not bought any counter battery or anything. And Tanner's managed to move up over to here, which is really dangerous for LOTRY. Although, this is Tanner's only CV in the zone. So if this M1A1 can be brought up... I've just noticed all these tanks are at 1 vet. That's a huge mistake. You don't want to do that because, you know, this guy's low cohesion. He wouldn't have been if he was 2 vet. And LOTRY needs to get some ITOs up to here now if he's got any left from his like 6 ITO opener. He's buying 50 cals instead. Don't really agree with that. I mean, 1 or 2 is good. They are defensive units, but he needs tows in these buildings like pronto. Some mech rifles out of ammo. Lots of helicopters. They're all out of supply. It's so expensive to supply these things. He spotted this stuff over here. And this M1A1 is doing its best, but look how much stuff there is. And this guy was so close to dying, and then, you know, Tanner would have been forced to buy another one, and LOTRY would have got 600 points easily from that. But it got out. This guy close, he's getting lots of shots, he's getting lots of hits. But you see that one hit from a faggot has taken his cohesion from high to normal. If he was 2 vet, that wouldn't have happened. The smoke fades, and now look at what he's facing. And there you go, see, he's getting stunned up from these weak ATGMs. This is why you need that 2 vet. Although with how many there are here, you'd get stunned up anyway. It'd just take a bit longer. So he's trying to get this out, and the ATGMs are chasing him. These BRDM2 Conkers, you don't see these a lot because of how expensive they are, but hey, they did the job there, didn't they? And this T-80U's back in the fight. High cohesion, 3 vet. This guy's not unloaded. Just so Tanner is playing around his lack of infantry by just bringing so many supporting assets. You got the artillery firing. You've got the 10 million tanks. You get 2 cards of these TO-55s for a total of like, I think it's 6 per card, so 12 total. And, you know, at the heart of it all are these, you know, the CV tank has done well for itself, but this guy, Omamatev, on the T-80U, he's got so many kills. And Tanner was right to bring all that supply, because it's all been used now. This guy actually survived that attack of the scout, and these guys are not fully... like, they can't really be used. You got 2 igglers here as well. Need some toes in here. Oh, here we go. First howitzer out for LOTRY. And... yeah, I assume all his toes are over here. But, yeah, just given how cost-effective 8th stuff is, I'd be tempted when seeing all this to just get a small force and attack here. And yeah, he is actually advancing here and checking it out. So I'll check back on that later. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty crazy. Like, these aren't... I mean, they're cost-efficient, but the gun is 35% accuracy. But if you get 4 of them and just sit them there uncontested and... yeah, okay, so LOTRY's got another M1 Abrams up now. But they're all 1 vet. They're all 1 vet. Where's that artillery piece? There it is. Keep an eye on that. Shame replays don't have keybinds. And yeah, Tanner's, you know, he's using his artillery to great effect. This one, obviously, there's no one there. But he'll get this guy. And he'll probably get that supply. And he's just not moving it anymore. So yeah, 1 counter battery out from LOTRY. He should be able to start cleaning this up. But he's just losing his units here, and like, look, this guy's low cohesion. He's 2 vet actually because he's near the CV. This guy, what's he shooting at? Okay. And the Tunguska's been brought up here, so that's pretty smart from Tanner because he knows about all these helicopters, presumably. And this guy doesn't have recon, so he can't actually see any of that. He can't see this. Oh, okay, he can now. And yeah, this Abrams, low cohesion. This guy needs to pull back into this building. We've got an M150 over here. And it will beat that BMP-1. Ah, here we go. Counter battery finally out. And... yeah, counter battery needs to be a bit better in this game, I think. But, yeah, like, why do these have 8 strength? It's a towed vehicle with... well, let's see how big the crew is. 2-man crew. I mean, obviously in real life it probably would be closer to 8 men than 2. The M150 that was here got close and then this blew it up. And the air's back out for Tanner. Oh, he's seen the Thunderbolt. And these Cobras are just getting destroyed by the Igla, the Tunguska, and the MiG-20... oh, the MiG-29s peel off, which is a shame. But Tanner now knows that there's not much air here, AA here. He only saw 1 Stinger shoot him. So he can bring out these bombers now. It's like high altitude bombers. Oh, and that one gets the CV, so that's not great for LOTRY. He's lost all his helicopters. And yeah, Tanner saw where the Stingers were shooting from. He didn't lose any of his planes there. So really tight play from Tanner. I mean, could you imagine if LOTRY had, before doing that attack, if he'd bought an M270 and just dropped it on this, it looked kind of like this. I mean, there's more stuff there now, but it looked kind of like this. And if he just dropped it where he was going, that would have really done quite a bit. Meanwhile, this guy's just busy counter batterying, and oh yeah, he's shooting at where the Stingers used to be. So smart from LOTRY to move it, although he's not moved it far enough, I suppose. The CV is firing, and LOTRY's now advancing with his defensive army. Although he's got Stingers, so that should be good for this. Should be good for LOTRY. It's not going to be good for this. Although I missed. It's not great. Here we go, Ito. There you go. Nice. So LOTRY's managed to take that zone, and he's now stopped the bleed. Although this is a pretty concerning thing to face yourself with, and this. You know, because this is 1 vet, this low cohesion. This is fine. This Mr. Kagan, he's doing alright. This Tunguska survived all that. And... ooh. This artillery, man, it's... you know, he's getting a couple units, but it probably still hasn't paid for itself, basically. But yeah, there's only 1 Stinger now. And Tanner's going to bring up the helicopters, and there's only 1 Stinger to deal with it. And he knows where it is because it's shooting at him with his small arms. And then it hits, it gets a hit. But you can definitely just overwhelm this by running at it. Because it'll take 3 Stinger hits to kill these armored helos unless you hit them in the rear. Ito in this building is really powerful. We got a fighting Falcon AA, which was probably going for these, but it's not the best thing for it. And Tanner's still got these MiG-29s, these two MiG-29s. So that guy goes down. And Ito's in this building is really strong. It's going to be quite hard for Tanner to get back in here. But over here, this blob has no signs of slowing down. Like, there's the M1 that was here died. All the toes and stuff are dead. Got a tank CV here, but guess what? It's one vet. MiG's being used to strafe. He knows that there's no stingers here. This guy's still on counter battery, and yeah, I mean, counter battery just is shit. Like, these guys don't even have their trucks. He's just manually moving it after each salvo. They're pushing it around, and the counter battery is just not doing anything to it. So counter battery does need some buffs. LOTRY bought 2 CVs. It's probably a mistake. But I'm just strongly against these one vet heavy tanks. I suppose the base M1 could be classed as a medium, just in terms of price. I know in terms of doctrine it's like it's a heavy tank, main battle tank, what have you. But LOTRY is +2 now, and oh, I'm not sure why he did that. Presumably he'll realise, and then he'll be back to +2 again. Okay, whatever. These guys need resupplying. Like, this guy's almost out of rounds. And see, look, he's just manually moving it, and it can't be counter batteries. I'm pretty sure LOTRY's just left this on counter battery, and you see it's just not doing it. Really perplexed by this. I mean, he had it in the zone, and then he drove it out. Like, this is retreating as well. Yeah, really perplexed by this. And has Tanner lost any helicopters yet? It's the AA one. Yeah, AA one's still alive. So you don't actually get that many helicopters as this division, but if you keep them alive... Oh, that's going to be a side shot on a T-80. Oh, it was a supply vehicle instead. And these anti-tank guns are really difficult to deal with as well, because in this patch they get infantry cover bonuses. I'm just flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. Like, what? He was in here. He has units. Just drive it in. I guess he's paying attention to this. And Tanner's just going to drive this CV around, although there are Itos. This is your boy Omar Matev. He's still going. And this supply, you can't use this road anymore. You got to, like, take him around here. Right, so I guess he was waiting for these guys, but I mean, he had the CV in there. The thing is, now there's no... Well, there is AA, there's the PIVADs. And here we go, finally, Mech Rifles lost, so we can check the price. 55 points. Definitely worth it, though. They get 3 MGs, and the Law, M72 Law, is now a good AT weapon. I mean, comparatively to the other ones, it's still bad, but all infantry AT weapons have been buffed, and the Law is pretty good now. It's got that juicy 20 fire rate with 2-3-1 suppression, so in 2 shots it'll fully suppress a tank. And yeah, these artillery pieces are now being used to clear these buildings out. LOTRY forced to pop his smoke for those helicopters. PIVADs are coming up now. Presumably he's going to drive back into the zone. Great, and he's got a supply for that. We got 2 CVs from Tanner here. So he's looking to get back in here as well. Those toes are out of ammo, and one of them's dead, and the other one's damaged. And these buildings are just going to get carpet bombed now. Very strong airplay from Tanner. 8th only gets the F-16 for... here we go, finally some counter battery. A direct hit, 2 HP taken off. No joy. That's not a great place to be. Oh no, and he's going to get back shot. Yeah, that was a rear shot because he clicked that way. So he lost his +2. PIVADs were just a little bit out of position. If he'd reversed and then popped the smoke, he would have been fine. Or even just reversed, because that Cocon would have hit him in the front instead of in the back. This has all been cleared out. LOTRY doesn't really have anything left here. And he's got loads of stuff here, though, but not the CV, so he's going to send this one in now. This guy, has he run out of ammo yet? He's still on counter battery. See, look, it didn't even get this. Quite quite frustrating. And this CV has no defense, and because it's got less than 1 armor, can be penned by these KPVTs. So that's going to die now. And that will put Tanner onto a +4, I believe. He's going. He's gone. So, LOTRY getting back in here, though. And he definitely outnumbers his enemy here. But it'd be interesting to see if Tanner just moves all this back. He's now got 3 fighters. And... yeah, there's just not a lot on the... I mean, on this side, it's going to be really difficult for LOTRY to get back in there. Tanner has this sizable reserve. But... yeah, like these... like the dragon's going ahead of the tank, and that was another side shot. This guy's got a smoker, he's going to die, he's dead. Falcon got domed by 3 MiG-29s. Trying to kill this, presumably, which survived. And, mate, this game is over. I'm gonna take a judicial decision to just kind of check the time here. Oh, okay, yeah, so it is over. So, yeah, I mean, 119Y in ranked? Question mark. So when you press this, it comes up with my ranking, which is wrong, but, you know, LOTRY's rank 17, and Tanner's like rank 30 or 40, so there you go, rank 17 against, rank unknown, because it comes up with my profile. But we were going to check the kills, so Tanner got really great usage out of these. Like, this was your boy Omametev. He got a lot of kills. 4 Abrams, lots of lesser beings. This anti-tank gun got 2 Abrams, 2 Dragons, an M60 and an M1A1. MiGs. Tanner's airplay was just better. LOTRY didn't buy any Eyehawks. That Tunguska was the guy that went around the sides. You just see how much value, like, all his heavy units were actually working. Whereas on the other side, you know, you got this... so, like, that tow cobra did do well in that fight. Oh, it was this one. This one did well in that fight when he pushed on mid. But, yeah, no M270, no Eyehawk. Really defensive opening from LOTRY. So yeah, if you can beat the 17th best player in the world with 119Y, then yeah, new tier list confirmed, I suppose. GG.